graph. Okay, so the next page in our notes, we're going to talk about some properties of sine graphs. Okay, so here are some maybe new words for you. So the first word is the midline. Okay, so first of all, when we do a sine graph, it's going to go like this. It's going to go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, like that forever. Okay, but it does the same thing over and over and over again. Okay, that's what a sine, cosine curve, sinusoidal, they all look like this. They keep going, keep going, keep going through a cycle. So the midline is this. What height is in the middle of it? That's the midline. What height is in the middle? So that's why it's a y equals line, because it's a flat line in the middle of this. Amplitude is this. Amplitude, there's amplitude. How much space am I going up off the middle? And how much space am I going down off the middle? It'll be the same, right? Because it's symmetric. You're going to have to go up. So this person went up 3 from the middle, and also they're going down 3 from the middle. And the next word is period, which means how long did it take me to get through a cycle before I started repeating it again. Okay, so we're going to graph a sine curve. Okay, we're not going to play with the calculator today. We'll play with it tomorrow. Can you put your first point at the origin? If you move over 90 degrees, can you put a point at the height of 1? If you move over 180 degrees, can you go a point on the midline? If you go to 70 degrees, can you put a point at -1? And at 360 degrees, can you go back to the middle? Do you see how this is a wave? So on the origin, I'm going to start. I'm going high, middle, low, middle. I'm going to draw an arrow because the next thing I would reach is the high. If I was to continue the wave over here, I would have to head to a low. So it's always like that, middle, high, middle, low. Middle, high, middle, low, middle, high. It just keeps going in that cycle. Okay, what is the y-intercept? So a y-intercept is, where does it cross this line? At 0. Give some x-intercepts. So this is an x-intercept, so 0 degrees, 180 degrees, 360 degrees. And it's going to keep going, 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 because it's the cycle. It crosses again, and it crosses again. Okay, what is the domain? So how far left is this graph moving? Negative infinity. How far right? Infinity. What's the range? What's the lowest height? -1. What's the highest height I reach? 1. Okay, a period. So how long did it take me to move through a cycle before the graph started repeating itself? Middle, high, middle, low, middle. Does it make sense that that is one cycle? If I keep going, at this point in time, it's just me doing the same thing. It's another repetition. So how long did this take? Took 360 degrees. Or some of your graphs might be in radians. So another way to say 360 is 2 pi. What is the amplitude? So how much am I going away from my midline? How much did this graph go up off of the middle or down? So this is the middle, which means I am how far up or down from that middle? I'm only 1 unit up. I'm only 1 unit down. And what is that middle height? Y is what height number there? 0. Okay. Can you also write this word? I've also seen in your book that midline, they also refer to it as a median. A median is something we talk about in the middle. Okay, flip to page 2. I'm going to do a question with you. Something with a tree here. Okay, so Danielle is swinging on a swing here, and then there's a tree over here. So when she's located here, which is the closest she would ever be to the tree, she's 3.5 meters away. She's 7.3 meters away when she's the farthest. So do you guys know on a swing? Over here would be when she's the farthest away, right? Emily, are you laughing at my drawing skills? I guess I could give my person arms, legs, feet. Okay, so at the back swing, now Danielle's 7.3. Okay, how do you always start on a swing? Where do you usually start when you're on a swing? At the? You always start at the bottom, right? Right there? How could we figure that out? So I want to know, what is this How are we going to get that? Anybody have a suggestion for us? How do you find the middle of something? Like if you got 80% on the first test and you got 70% on your second test, what would you do to find the middle? Add and divide. That's an average. So can you add them? And then divide by 2. And if you're doing it on your calculator, you want to push equals before you divide or do brackets, right? Did we get 5.4? I did those two numbers added. Yeah. The low number plus the high number equals, and then I divided by 2 to figure out the average. Does that make sense visually? Do we all see, like, would that number make sense to you? Okay, so if I'm kind of connecting my brain to a graph, it's like 5.4. What do you always do on a swing? Do you go backwards or forwards first?
Backwards first.
You go backwards first? You push your legs back. Okay. So if I'm going to go backwards, then I'm going to 7.3. I'm going backwards. And then what do you do on a swing? Then you would pass the bottom again, right? So if you go backwards and then you go back through the bottom, and then you go to the forward position, and what do you keep doing? You keep doing it, doing it, doing it, right? I'm not going to draw this forever, but visually, do we understand that that's what you would be doing? Okay. What is the median? So what are we going to say here? What's the middle? What's the middle of this graph? Or this is the median. So your answer for median should be 5.4 meters. And what is the amplitude? So, or on the graph, so this is the amplitude, how much space is there? Or the amplitude on here would be how many meters are between that person at the bottom and the person at the front. How many meters are between that? What is it? 1.9? Is that what you said? So there's 1.9 meters of spacing to go up or to go down. So those are what those words mean. Okay, I'm going to do one more question with you. So number 2. Let's highlight some things here. So I'm going to go, do we know what number's in the middle? What's the median here? 4. So if I'm to pick, the median or the middle is a 4. How much amplitude distance is there in that? So from 4, how much did we go up from 4? How much did we go down after 4? There's 2. Does that make sense? We went from 4 to a 6. That's 2. And then we went from 4 in the middle to down to a 2. So we went up 2, down 2. And what is the period? So if I start here, where's the next time I reach that place? So mid, high, mid, low, mid. This would be the end of a cycle before I start that process again. So our period is, what did you say, 8 hours? So that's the word, what a period is. Okay, so let's talk about which one's true or not true. Is A true? Is the amplitude 2? Yep, that one's true. Is the period of this one 4? No, we said it was 8. Is the equation of the midline at a height of 2? Nope, we said it, the middle of this graph, the height would be 4. And we didn't talk about this one, but the domain of the function is at 2 to 6. Is that one true? No. What is going from 2 to 6 though? The range was doing that, but not the domain. Right? Domain is going left and right. So I think that's why they would trick you on that question, right? Because the range is down to 2 and up to 6. So that's why they would trick you.